You're looking at a rare piece of Massey Harris history. It's a general purpose, or GP tractor, which is today owned by Rob Sample of Pennsylvania.
A lot of people say they've never seen it before. Some people will say that they've seen one in a magazine or two, but to actually see one live in person, a lot of people have never seen one. It's very unique.
Introduced in 1930, this unusual-looking machine is the first farm tractor the Massey Harris Company actually designed and built on its own. Before this, tractors that carried the Massey Harris name were assembled by other companies. Built in Racine, Wisconsin, GPs were also the industry's first mass-produced four-wheel drive tractors.
I think there were 6 other companies that made maybe 5 or 10 four-wheel drive tractors, but this was the first mass-produced. It came with 4 different widths. Some people would like to run it through orchards, so they would use the narrower width on it. Obviously with four-wheel drive, it would go just about anywhere. Some would say that it's a little underpowered, but the four-wheel drive was the biggest option, the biggest benefit for this tractor.
It was indeed underpowered compared to the competition, which meant this tractor was more suited for plowing in lighter soils rather than threshing work. Its 226 cubic inch, 4-cylinder Hercules vertical L-head engine produced 15 horsepower at the drawbar and 22 on the belt.
It's definitely fun. It rides really nice. It's not like your typical four-wheel drive where you feel it buckling. There's no buckling, no kicking at all. But it will build upper body strength. There's obviously no power steering. There's no steering at all when you're sitting still, and when you're moving is the only time you can really steer it. Of course, it has all hand controls, forward, reverse. It has a high and low gear with the hand clutch. So you need to put it in gear while you're trying to steer it at the same time. So it is a bit of a challenge, but it's also, it's fun.
Just over 3,000 Massey Harris GP tractors were produced from 1930 to 1936, and they sold new for about $1,000 back in the day. The Sample family's GP was found in New Jersey and required a massive restoration. It was originally on steel wheels, but the Sample family switched it to rubber tires to make it easier to take to tractor shows.
My grandfather bought the tractor over in New Jersey back in the late 1970s. It took him about 10 years to finally start the restoration project on it. It took him about 5 years to restore it. Had to find another tractor to get some parts off of that. When we got it, it was in bad shape. From the stories I was told, my grandmother asked him what he was doing with it and why he bought it. But he always had that, he knew what the end product would look like. He bought and sold machinery all his life, and he knew what the end picture would look like with this tractor.
Rob is following in the footsteps of his late father and grandfather, both of whom were avid farm tractor collectors. Rob has passed the tradition on to his own son, Colin, who collects Massey garden tractors. Expect this GP to one day be the highlight of Colin's collection as well.
We consider it in the Sample family, the Sample family heirloom. My grandfather took great pride in it. It was by far his favorite tractor. When he had passed away, it was willed down to my father, and my father also it was his pride and joy. It was by far his favorite piece of equipment. He's been around farming equipment all of his life, and it has a special place. My father unfortunately passed away in March of 2015, so it came to me. So I'm the 3rd generation owner. And it'll continue down to my son in hopes that it'll stay in the family forever.
For the Samples, collecting classic tractors is indeed a family affair. It's a passion Rob can't quite explain, but one that he shares with many other collectors across the country.
It's just like every other story from every other guy. It's in your blood. You don't know why, but tractors are extremely sentimental to those that have them, and it's just something that sticks with you forever.